Alrighty.
Whoa. The disc really is on fire. Man, that hurts.
Another headache.
This is not normal.
Another scorcher. Ought to pack our bags for leave and cool down there.
I can't believe you managed to bring it all back.
Our part of the deal's done.
Is this what you came for? Sure, help yourself. Go nuts.
I'll take as much as I can carry.
Sheesh, don't hold back or anything. But sure, I guess we do owe you.
Huh.
Burning up in
Wait. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Whoa. The disc really is on fire. Is it safe to go?
Where's the car? How do I get back to the car? I feel like one of those people who gets lost in Quest 64.
Too hot to move.
Quest 64 is... It's not a good game, but it's a game that had very many interesting ideas. And a bad game with interesting ideas can teach you more than a good game that doesn't do anything new.
Damn, that looks good.
Go grab one if you want.
You bet I want. I'll find a joint later.
So... But, now, as a game with interesting ideas, it definitely does... It does some things right, and it does some things not right. And some things it does right are things that people think it does wrong because they don't understand what it's doing. So, basically, the maps are more or less just very linear.
Everything in order.
And
Yep.
All right.
they, have the battles more or less straight in them. I don't remember if it's exactly like seamless battles, but it... From what... I never owned a Nintendo 64, and I have not seen fit to just emulate it for that in specific, in particular. But from what I recall from people who have played it, who have shown it to me, I think it's more or less pseudo-seamless battles, but the transition out of battle is handled by this spinning upwards jump, which most people don't realize it puts you facing back the direction you were facing before the battle started. So people will get lost in these hallways because they can't tell which way is which, essentially. And, so I mean, it did it right putting you back in that direction. It did it wrong by not telling you that's what it was doing. You also have a limitation in that you're not going to max out all 4 elements. You've got your earth, fire, wind, water, and you're not going to be able to max out all of them by any stretch of the imagination because you only get a slow drip of points and then whatever you can find an elemental spirit in the field to increase something for basically free. And you're going to pretty much have to go into earth and water because the game more or less decides that for you. Earth contains some defensive spells, water contains your healing spells, but earth contains the most powerful spell in the game, especially against large enemies because it drops a whole bunch of boulders. Each boulder does its own amount of damage, and the more boulders you can drop on a large enemy, the more you're going to just destroy it. So when you're talking about things like, you know, boss monsters and that kind of thing, that spell is going to wreck their day. So...
We're practically running on fumes at this point.
Yeah, we're going to a gas station. Keep your shorts on. So, honestly, I think that just having driven around these several things, like I've been more or less driving around all in-game day here, I'm noticing the difference. It's not like magic, but those 3 items that I've thrown at my fuel efficiency at that point are making a noticeable difference. So, but, anyway, Quest 64, I mean, that, you know, Avalanche or whatever the spell is called, is a mechanically interesting spell. It does, you know, wind and fire kind of lose out because they don't have anything with that potential raw damage output. And you do have to do water for your healing, which is kind of unfortunate because, I don't know, I guess, just from what I understand, items are not going to necessarily cut it in that game, either because you can't get enough of them, or can't hold enough of them, or for whatever other reason, but, yeah. I mean, like I said, from a mechanical perspective, having the spells work the way they do.
We're running low on petrol. Mind if we stop to refuel?
I don't think
Be my guest.
Otherwise.
How kind of you to oblige.
We are near Cornick Station, and we do have a couple of hours of light left, so... Alrighty. And we'll resume.
Everything in order.
Yep.
And this should be just enough light to get us there. And if not, I'm sure there's something in between that I can stop at. They'll prompt me. Anyway. Quest 64, obviously not the best game ever, but you know, like I said, sometimes a bad game with good ideas is much more educational than a good game with nothing new. So, now something that I was writing in, I am still trying to write a review of this, because I do kind of tend to do that. I have more half-finished reviews than I've ever released anything, but the Regalia itself here is something that I actually covered, and that's something that I kind of want to talk about here. The Regalia was, in developer interviews, said to be important enough that you should consider it an additional party member. It supposedly had its own HP.
Hey, Nox, why don't we sleep there?
They got something special?
A safe place to spend the night? The demons will be coming out any minute.
Literally where... We're gonna keep going. We're
As
not
long
that
as we
far.
keep moving, we'll be fine.
But how can you be sure?
What? The monsters got you scared?
Nah, monsters don't scare me. I ride with one every day.
You want to run that by me again?
That was great. Yeah, I'm not gonna turn around when I'm literally halfway. Unless it's an Iron Giant, and honestly, at this point, I could probably handle a level 40 Iron Giant. So... it wouldn't be great, but I would be able to manage, probably, just using Star Shell and other means of whittling it down, so... Oh, baby girl, you gonna be affectionate again? I just fed you. So, train of thought derailed. Oh, the Regalia. So, I actually, when I first started playing this, I was just, like, looking at, like, the back light, like, the red light at the back there of the car here. This one here. Just, like, looking, like, is this the HP meter or whatever? And it's just, I could not find any indication of HP. And that kind of baffled me because they had just come out with that interview. Well, what they probably were talking about is there is some...
Easy to sleep with civilization nearby.
Nothing wrong with the outdoors, but there's definitely safety in numbers.
Anyway, the...
Shall we shop a bit?
Works for me.
The cosmetic damage
Hey,
you can
Nox.
get to the car...
You coming or what?
really can only happen if Noctis is driving. I actually accidentally made Ignis do a U-turn, because it does allow you some control over that, but you can't actually damage the car while Ignis is driving, despite your best intentions.
Well, look at all that. You boys brought back a whole truckload.
I took as much as I could carry.
How much?
Nothing.
Whoa! Now, y'all didn't pull a heist, did you?
No. You think I'm a thief?
Forgive me, son. Just reminded me of my own past is all. Must have been 30 years ago. Once tried to steal food from here, till old Sid done caught me. Wrapped me right on the noggin and took me in. This here'll keep you fed, so, you won't have to steal.
Huh. Ooh. Literally, Ignis, you can't even be impressed and make something out of getting a griffin breast. Okay.
It was the seasonings he wanted?
Yes. Less discerning chefs might settle for comparable local flavors.
But not Taka. Maybe they're for a new dish?
Just hope it's something I can eat.
Alright, we're calling it a night here.
You ready to rumble, Not?
In King's Night? Oh yeah, I'm game.
In that case, I'll join you.
Anyway, the Regalia, just disappointed me. It doesn't have its own full HP bar. It can get cosmetic damage, but only when the player drives it. Some sort of wear and tear on it that...
Look at you.
Yeah, I know.
Why you gotta be so photogenic?
that would just, I don't know, do
Striking
something.
a pose.
Oh yeah!
I don't know, like, it just, when they were making that big deal out of, it's basically another party member, there are so many things they could have done with it that they didn't. Giving it its own proper HP, having it, you know, suffer from wear and tear.
Yo,
in addition to whatever cosmetic damage you have, that would have gone a long way towards feeling that, and using the backlights as an indicator is something that there's precedent for. We've got, you know, Isaac Clarke, who, you know, has his health bar across
Thank your
his
lucky
spine.
stars, because I whipped up something real special.
We'll customize
What'll
here.
it be?
So, actually, we'll leave it alone.
Be seeing ya.
I mean, for the sake of showing, you know, what can happen to it, I guess I don't have anything that would have damaged it. But, just, you know, having physical damage, having wear and tear, both in play would have gone a long way towards that.
Hey there.
Hey.
Y'all got spare time?
A hunt?
Yep. And it's a dangerous one.
Do you need it?
Sure do.
Then we'll do it.
Thanks, son.
Ooh. That is a dangerous hunt.
Repairs, check. Yes, check.
So...
You two are like old buddies now.
It's like you've got a bond that doesn't need words.
I suspect you've built an unspoken trust.
More of a saying the same thing trust.
Or when you call it to you, literally Cindy brings it. Like, that baffled me the first time because it was in the middle of the night and it was just like I was out in the middle of nowhere and it was just like, hey, you know, like I was halfway to Golden Key somehow, and it was just like, hey, I need the car to go one way or the other. So it's just like I called it, and then Cindy just drives the thing up and walks off, and it's like, wait, what? So it's just, maybe I'm remembering some things wrong, but just, I mean, she drives it to you. Now, we have self-driving cars here in America. They're not real good quite yet, but it's something. And, I mean, to combine that with...
Ready for more?
You bet.
with, like, a homing beacon. Like, even if Ignis isn't going to be made completely redundant by just having self-driving cars, because honestly, early self-driving technology was, it would say, like, there would be a certain point where it's just like, I can't decide what to do, you're on your own. Take the wheel. And, I mean, for that would make sense, you know, to have that kind of limitation, even in a fantasy game. But to have it like, you know, here's the drivable roads, I can tell what's in these roads, more or less. I won't be able to avoid anything, but I need to get to this homing beacon. The owner master has activated the homing beacon. I must go to master, you know, that kind of thing. And yeah, like if there's enemies on the road, it's probably gonna plow through them. That's gonna take away some HP and cause some, you know, cosmetic damage, that kind of thing. But it would make the car feel a little more alive in that sense, and actually go more towards making it feel like a party member. Cindy trucking it around and just driving it to you doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because then it's just like she just waltzes off, you know? Just like, hold on, never mind those level 40 Iron Giants, I got this, you know? Just like, if she can handle that stuff alone, maybe she should be saving the world, not me. But as a party member, it just doesn't feel like one. It's a customizable transportation, but it doesn't feel like a party member in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't feel any more special than an airship. or any other transportation you get in the Final Fantasy games, and customizing it is nice, but it doesn't make it feel more important than it is. I mean, as a piece of transportation, it's incredibly important. I mean, to have to walk the entire map like this would take a really,
We've reached a creature crossing.
really long
Wow.
time.
Where do you think they're all going?
We could always follow him and find out.
And I mean, you can do it. You can easily just walk anywhere you need to in this game. That's not the issue. The issue is that it's much more convenient to do it by car and much faster, because you running along it, like, you know, I'm gonna give these guys like 20 miles an hour tops. I mean, that's being incredibly generous. But, I mean, to be able to go around at 65 miles an hour makes it go a lot faster. And gives me some time to talk and do a breather. But as it's not a party member, it's not a person, it has no traits beyond transportation. And that's disappointing to me, considering how much they built it up. Like, yes, you have a car, and it's important enough to be considered its own party member. It has its own HP, and it's like, none of these things are true. And I wanted them to be true. I wanted the car to have its own HP, that I would have to take it in for repairs and actually treat it like that, or even have, you know, special repair kits that would work on it or something. Because I hate to say it, but having the repair kits and, you know, saying they won't work on the regalia, so the only thing these are good for are missions where you give somebody a repair kit and you can buy 3 more repair kits. It's a very sustainable way of making money, assuming a lot of people break down, but it feels like something was scaled back. And that's disappointing to me. So, I mean, if they were to patch it and give the regalia its own HP and make it so that you had to repair it and that kind of stuff, and you still had to take cosmetic damage to the garage or whatever, but, I mean, the closest thing it has to HP is its gas meter. There's no wear and tear on it, there's no... I mean, you could drive around with it with all the cosmetic damage it can have, and just, it still wouldn't break down. I don't understand why there's an option to tow it if it doesn't get wear and tear and doesn't break down. And just... I mean, it'll run out of gas and you gotta tow it then, don't get me wrong, but... It just, like I said, it seems like they scaled something back. Like, even the way they were talking very close to release, it feels like last-minute changes were made to take away some of the things that they had been really excited about, either because they hadn't been able to get them working properly or something like that.
It should be a nice change of pace.
There's a lot in games and movies and media in general that just gets cut for time, and this feels like they scaled something back for time. Which is disappointing.
Tread lightly.
Do. And that goes too far away. So I will have to equip the machine. I gonna do the bioblaster? No, we're gonna do the other. Wait. What am I missing? Oh, I need to equip a shield. Okay, that's different.
The hunt is on.
Gotcha!
Try this on.
Well, here we are.
Get down! Here I am!
Watch where you swing that thing!
Hey!
At least I'm picking up Phoenix Downs. Actually, Gladiolus's end of battle find lists are interesting in their own right, because there's a lot of stuff that he will stop finding, start finding again later, and that kind of stuff. And it's almost like some parts of it are actually, like, better than others. Like, you get him to level 10, and it's actually not as impressive as level 9 with some of the things that you might actually want. There's a lower chance, but you have a chance of getting more things, and it's like... So, as you actually gain skill, it's just like he stops finding... Why
Everything in order.
Why did I do that? I forgot what I was doing. That's why I feel so dumb. Hold on, I think... Let me run for President of the United States here. That's my political comment for the day. That's, people have been, and I've noticed in some of the footage that I've seen where Trump is not doing okay. Like, regardless of your political leanings, I will admit that I lean very liberal these days. I used to be more conservative when I was younger, but I lean very liberal now. And anything, even aside from that, it's just like, aside from my own political leanings, like the idea that we actually might have a president who is going senile scares me.
Heads up!
Like, people have seen the footage, shown footage and that kind of stuff of him just, and you see that where he just kind of forgets where he is, gets lost, and starts wandering off. And just, that is not a good thing, and I hate to say it, but my grandfather is going a little forgetful here, to put it lightly, and...
Watch yourself, no!
I know.
Like, to see that happening to the acting president of the United States is not encouraging.
No quarter. No mercy!
Well, here we are. Far less trouble than anticipated.
Like, you can disagree with somebody politically and not have to be scared about their mental state.
Hey, how's he look over there?
I think we might be winning!
Anyway, that's my political commentary for probably the next very long time. Yeah.
Gladio! Stomach's rumbling.
Let's wrap up this ride. Get speeds.
That sucks.
Nothing personal.
Whoa! Look at this guy.
Hey, got it.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway. New topic. Swords and shields. That's something that I've noticed, and it kind of bothers me that Gladio does not use whatever sword Noctis is able to produce for his shields. Like, he uses it as a shield, and he bashes away with it, and... Where is the car? I'm going the wrong direction. A little exploration never hurt. I mean, worst case scenario, I'd just return to the car, right? Hey, I found a campground. That's a thing I wouldn't have otherwise done. I should also probably consider using some Elemancy, but I'll leave that for later. I'm not really expecting anything big right now. Except for that Midgardsormr, which, I have a recipe for, so it's just like, hey, you're level 50 and delicious. Let's do this, you know? So, and honestly, I'm over-leveled for that quest anyway, so it's just like, I don't know if they expected me to run, but I hate to say it, nothing has stopped me from killing a Midgardsormr before.
Clear skies, with the temperature rising.
Nice.
That is going to be, like, that is my goal. The Midgardsormr, the Midgardsormr, in Final Fantasy VII, which is a mistranslation of Midgardsormr, I mean, that's the type of person I am. It's just like, I don't look at something and be like, oh yeah, I should really sneak past that.
Lestalem sure looks great from this angle. Oh, hey, we should get a picture.
Sure.
Yeah, could be a nice shot.
With me behind the lens, it'll be picture perfect.
So, but yeah, so I know I've mentioned this before, where it's just like, yeah, it's not one of those things where, I'm gonna have to come back later. It's just like, I'm gonna grind until I can kill that thing. That's just the kind of person I am. If you put something powerful in front of me, I am going to find a way to kill it.
Let's head on out.
Take a shot from here.
Good call. Now it's picture time. Let me get this shot.
We'll save that for posterity. I need to clear out my photos. It used to be 150 photos, and then it got increased to 200 in one of the updates, and so...
Oh, love the lighting.
Come on.
Everything in order?
Yep.
All right.
That is, like, the only complaint that I have about this game is how fiddly it can be to interact with things. Otherwise, I mean, well, okay, second other complaint about it is probably how hard it is to block, just because when you start a combo with certain weapons, you really do commit to it. But, and I suppose while I'm being petty, it is kind of annoying that tools cost MP for Noctis, but they don't for Prompto. It's just like, it's a tool, it's a mechanical object. Why does this require magic for me and only me? So, I'm gonna cut this session off here and just pick up again here.